And we're continuing on with video 6, looking at text and how to animate it. And not just what we were looking at before with the transforming of our property in that layers, but we're actually going to look at how to animate that text or that layer within. So what I'm going to look at is over here in the timeline, we've got our drop down for text. And when I click that, we're going to notice some other options. We got our source text, path options, more options. We're going to look at these in a later video in chapter 2. We've been dealing with our transform of what we were looking at last video of this rotation. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. So we're not dealing with these transform anymore. These transform properties are really going to specifically transform, again, like I said, your layer. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at how to animate your text, the source. So maybe you can have more control with individual characters, or if you have multiple lines, you can do that, multiple words. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this animate, and it brings up more options. And again, it's going to look familiar with, especially with these the anchor points and all of these, to what we're looking at transform, but it gives us some more options in how to control this text. So I'm going to start with one that's kind of fun. We're going to do a fill color, and we're going to select RGB with all the red, greens, and blues, and it's going to create this animator 1. Now, to get in a good habit, what I like to do, so especially if I'm adding multiple animators within each of my text layers, I go ahead and right click, and we can rename this. So I'm going to animator 1, and we're going to go ahead and call it fill color. So that way we know that is the fill color. Especially if we close it down just to save room later on, we can go back and we notice that this is our fill color. So starting here, what we're going to look at is I've got red selected. Okay, and I'm going to scrub along our timeline. I'm going to go to 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and click that stopwatch, create a keyframe. I'm going to go back to 0 seconds, open this, and let's go ahead and with just generic black. Alright, and what we can do is as we scrub along, we notice that it changes from black to red. Pretty simple, right? We can play through. It gives us a little bit of that variation. So we just animated our text. And I can even, if I want to, highlight those F9, excuse me, F9, and create an easy ease. Alright, so that was one thing that we've did. That's pretty simple when you just click it, automatically see that. But we also have this range selector. If we click on that, it's going to bring up a little more advanced. It's almost like advanced into more advanced. So I'm going to look at here just our start and end. So what I might do, something that works out pretty well, I'm going to come down here to 1 second, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this end icon. Alright, and from there what I might do is then say, okay, I'm actually going to go to the beginning, and I'm going to offset this just a tiny bit. Okay, so as I scrub along, it's going to fade on through the text. So it's not only coming in as one word, but it's also coming on line by line. And let me go ahead and click. I've noticed that that's not quite 1 second exactly, so I do so. But now if I play this, let's go ahead to full screen. We're going to notice that it changes color. So this is a way to add a little bit of more life with an even movement. I know I don't have the text right now moving, but I could do so if I wanted to, but I just wanted to show you looking at how to animate specifically with individual characters. So I'm going to do one more before I get into too complication within this animator of text. We might have to do one more video just to kind of break it up. But we even come down and we have these advanced skills. And this is where we're going to jump into our next video, is looking at these advanced skills within Animator and also some additional animation with text.